Although the prominent site overlooking the River Dove has been occupied since the Stone Age, construction of a castle here began shortly after the Norman invasion and was completed by 1071. Occupied by Henry de Ferrers at the time of the Domesday Book, Tutbury was at that time the third largest settlement in Staffordshire. It was around the turn of the 13th century that the earliest parts of the stone castle were constructed. The surviving gateway tower dates from 1314, being built by Thomas, 2nd Earl of Lancaster, after the castle had been seized by the crown from the de Ferrers family. In 1399, Henry of Lancaster became Henry IV. The Lancastrian Kings Henry continued to develop the castle throughout the 15th century, but by the time of Henry VIII the castle had passed its best. By the 1560s it was described as an old stately castle decayed in many places. Yet it was at this time that it received its most famous resident. On the 4th of February 1569, Mary Queen of Scots and 60 attendants arrived at Tutbury Castle. For the first time since she had fled to England, she realised that she was now no longer free. Mary's custody was taken over by George Talbot, Earl of Shrewsbury and Constable of Tutbury Castle, as well as being husband to Bess of Hardwicke. The impregnable fortress of Tutbury Castle was to remain Mary's prison, with only a few changes of venue, for 14 years. On Christmas Eve 1585 Mary was moved, first to Chartley Castle. Later, after it was discovered that she had been plotting against Queen Elizabeth, she was moved to Fotheringay in Northamptonshire. There, at 10 o'clock in the morning, on Wednesday the 8th of February 1587, at the age of 44, she was beheaded. The Civil War was a momentous time for Tutbury Castle. It had been refortified by the Royalists, and from 1643 it was besieged, damaged and repaired several times. In May 1645 Charles I took refuge there, and for that, following a 3-week siege in April 1646, Parliament ordered its destruction. The demolition of the castle took several years, with much of the stone and timber finding its way into buildings in the town. With the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, the destruction was halted and some parts of the castle were repaired and re-inhabited. The tower, which stands on top of the motte, is a folly dating from 1780, having been commissioned by Lord Vernon of Sudbury Hall, who leased the castle for a period. The Priory Church of St Mary the Virgin mainly dates from the 13th century, but retains a Norman doorway dating from 1160. It has 7 decorative arches which depict a boar hunt and are made from local alabaster. It is the only external alabaster arch in the United Kingdom and the earliest example of alabaster carving anywhere. The tower dates from the 16th century. Since 2000, the castle has become a thriving tourist attraction and event venue. Although closed during the coronavirus crisis, the castle grounds reopened on a pre-booking arrangement the day after these scenes were filmed. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this brief aerial tour of Tutbury Castle.